For over 40 years, Rabbi Noah Weinberg has been helping Jews of all backgrounds discover the wisdom and beauty of their heritage. Rabbi Noah was born and raised in New York City. He studied at Johns Hopkins and Loyola Universities and received his rabbinical ordination at the Ner Yisrael Rabbinical College in Baltimore. Today, he resides with his Rebbitzin in the heart of Jerusalem. With his trademark warmth, wisdom, and love for all people, Rabbi Noah has become everyone's rabbi, touching the hearts of Jews from all walks of life across the globe.
I don't know, I don't think Judaism says much about pleasure.
Just like, I don't know, dude. That's a silly question.
It's a good thing. Get a lot of it.
I really can't answer that question.
Judaism teaches us pleasure. We say that's what we're here for, the whole thing. But let me just explain to you one lesson in pleasure that Judaism teaches. The whole thing is about pleasure, but one lesson that the Almighty taught us about pleasure, and that is that really there are 5 classes of pleasure. People think pleasure is pleasure is pleasure. Yeah, there's a hierarchy. There's not a hierarchy, classes. So if you want to understand what classes are about, you've taken an international flight. You know, in any international flight, they have first class. First class. What do they call it? Everybody's got a booth that says first class, premier class. They're very bold about it. They put it right out there. First class, come right here. And everybody likes to go over there and get first class, you know.
People use first class travel because they've got a lot of money. That's the only reason why they do it.
Well, I think first class you can even lie all the way back.
The students are nice. It's comfortable. You get to sleep. You eat well.
Short lines for the bathroom.
It's beautiful.
Then they have second class. Never find it. You can't find second class in the whole airport, not one airline. You'll find business class, King David, executive, premier. They have all kind of names, but they'll never call it second class. Second class, people don't want to go second class. First class, yeah. Second class,
The class below first class, I think, is business class.
And that is for people who mainly wear suits and ties and are flying because their company has paid for them.
Then they have third class. Third class? You never find third class. Never. They call it economy, tourist, travel. They all kind of names. You'll never see third class. Why not? Call it what it is. Nobody wants to go third class. They want to go first class.
I usually travel, I think it's economy. I guess it's economy. It's the middle. It's where you pay the normal, decent price like everyone else.
Coach is where you're really snug up next to the guy next to you and in front of you.
I always buy coach seats because I'm Midwestern, I'm middle class. That's what we do.
If they had fourth class, you check in your luggage, put it on the luggage, on the conveyor belt, then they'd shove you on the conveyor belt into the luggage compartment. You know, have a nice trip.
Is there something below economy class?
You can go with the dog underneath.
I think fourth class in an airplane is sitting on the wing.
Fifth class, you hold on to your luggage, and they give you a rope. They attach it to the tail, and off you go. You know, enjoy yourself. Yeah.
I don't think there is a fifth class.
The fifth class is called a boat.
If they had a fifth class, I'd rather not go on that plane.
So there are 5 classes of pleasure. You know what fifth class pleasure is? That's what most human beings will call pleasure. And don't get me wrong, it's really pleasure. It's really pleasure, like beautiful house, a yacht, skiing, first class restaurant, music, car, beautiful paintings.
A cup of scotch with some ice cubes.
Pizza, beer.
Playing basketball.
Go rollerblading, ride a bike, shopping.
Jeeping.
I love playing basketball.
I love swimming.
Going to a football match.
Ice cream and pizza makes me really happy.
Pizza?
ice cream, donuts.
Pizza bagels, macaroni and cheese, chopped liver.
Watching movies, great movie.
I love my car.
Yeah, you know, all this good stuff. We want it for our children, we want it for ourselves. So why do you call it fifth class? How's that a rope? Because it's not enough, it's a hassle. So that means that fifth class pleasure, no matter how much you got, is like holding on to a rope. If you let go, cocaine, suicide, mental illness, anger, misery, depression, and it's all with holding on, and it's just too much. It's a hassle. No amount of fifth-class pleasure will buy you 1 unit of fourth-class pleasure. And you say to yourself, come on, where is this? You knew it all along. The angel taught you. Every human being knows this. Every human being enjoys it, yeah? So what is it? Articulate. What is it? Children. Love.
I have 2 girls, and I'm very close to them, and I love them a lot, and we do a lot of things together.
I had a very special relationship with my dog, Poncho.
Probably one of the best relationships that I ever had is the relationship that I had with my cat. And I had my cat for 15 years. And I love that cat so much. I miss that cat. 15 years. One day he just left.
And my little baby tossing her up and down on the bed and teaching her little songs.
Now, if I offer a man who loves his children, look, there are people who hate their children, people who exploit their children, people who sell their children, people who beat their children, people who kill their children, psychopaths. But if you come to a man who loves his children, or a woman, a man or a woman who loves his children, you offer him $100 million for one of your kids. He's got 10 kids, yeah? $100 million, nothing will happen to him. He'll just move to China. He'll never see him again the rest of his life, yeah? Family, they won't take it. $100 million, he's not going to take it.
There's no price to life. It's priceless.
No, I would never give up a child of mine for $100 million.
If somebody would give me all the money in the world, I wouldn't take it.
You know, $100 million, you can buy a heck of a lot of fifth-class pleasure, but it's just not in the same league. Fourth-class pleasure is much more. Then why don't people spend more time? Why don't they enjoy it? Let me ask you, if you wanted to spend the time, what would you do? See, in the old days, people would kvel. That's a Jewish expression. They just sit and look at their children playing and just take pleasure in it. Or sit and watch their grandchildren and take pleasure kveling, just looking at them. Today, you know what people kvel about? He buys a new Porsche. Ooh, look at those lines. Wow, look at... he's kveling. But very few kvel with their children. Maybe once in a while it hits them. You see, the reason they don't take more time and enjoy this fantastic pleasure of love of children and of other people. You love your father, don't you? You love your mother. Yeah, take pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's fourth class. They don't know how. They got to learn how. But that's a different set of instructions. We're not going to talk about that. But you know, love is a very powerful pleasure. So now, what will people give up? Beautiful home, millions of dollars, wonderful wife that they love to distraction, wonderful kids that are well behaved. They're enjoying it. They're enjoying their life, and they'll give it all up. For what? You will too. Every human being does. Every human being is willing to give up all of this to be good. Now, for Westerners, to be good is, I say to them, tell me, would you kill 1,000 innocent children to save your life? If they say either you kill those kids or we kill you, they're not attacking you. They're just hostages. And they say either you kill them, he has a knife, go kill him, or give you a pistol, makes it easier. Kill them or you're dead. You have a wonderful wife, you have wonderful kids, you have a wonderful business, you travel around the world, you have vacation homes, you love skiing. You can't do it. Why not? Because it's wrong. Did you ever do anything wrong in your life? Yeah, sure. But this is too wrong.
I would never kill 1,000 children in order to preserve my life, because there's just no way I could fathom living with that guilt.
Absolutely not.
Kill 1,000 innocent children to save my life? No.
So you're really going to die to be good, to avoid being bad. To be good, you're willing to die. So now if you're willing to die for something, live for it. Doesn't it make sense? If you're willing to die, live. And if you're willing to die and live for something, you're a darn fool if you don't learn how to enjoy it. You see, in each one of these categories, you've got to learn how to enjoy it. People don't realize that even in fifth-class pleasure, everybody enjoys art, music, but if you have an excellent professor at university level who knows art or knows music and is able to articulate his pleasure, it's different for the rest of your life. If you go to the right university, then you have in Columbia University, they give you 3 credits for wine tasting. Wine tasting. I mean, you like wine, you like wine. No. If you have a lush for a professor who really appreciates wine and knows how to drink it, yeah, he can enhance your wine for the rest of your life. So you got to learn how to enjoy love. You got to learn how to enjoy good.
We'd go to an old age home every week on a Wednesday morning for 2 hours and just speak to the old people, help them in their everyday lives, cut their food for them, make their tea. And this made me feel really good every time I left that place, because I knew that I had managed to put a smile on their face once a week. It gave them something to look forward to. And not only did it make them happy, but it made me really happy.
I one time went to a girl I went to high school with. I went to her father's funeral, and I hadn't seen her in years, and when she saw me she cried because she was really happy I was there, and I felt good that I got up and went because it meant something to her.
A few weeks ago I helped my chum move his apartment. There was a lot of stuff. We made like 5 trips. It was a lot of work, and I felt really good afterwards because he needed my help.
I have this girl, she's 16 years old, and she's adopted by this family, and this family are not interested in continuing watching her, and she was basically in the streets, and we just found her a nice school to go to, and in the weekend she comes over to us, and it makes us very happy that we can help somebody.
So we'll give you one lesson on how to enjoy being good. There's a lot more to learn, you understand. This isn't worth 3 credits. It's just a hint, yeah. So imagine you're visiting New York City. If anybody knows about New York City, there's a very famous circle line that goes around Manhattan. It's a beautiful ride. You see the scenery. It's beautiful. Everybody loves it. The fact is that it travels on the East River. The East River is one of the most polluted rivers in the whole world. You see, all Manhattan, big Manhattan, flushes into the East River, and a good part of Brooklyn. You don't want to look at the water too closely. But when you're in the boat, it's high above the water, and the boat is splashing, it's a beautiful day, you're enjoying it. This fella's leaning over too far. There's a guy there, and he's leaning over too far, and he falls in. He looks straight into your eyes, and you're there. There's nobody else there. There's nobody else there. There's no life preservers. Nobody can get to help. He looks straight into your eyes, and he says, "I'm drowning. Give me my last chance. Gog, I'm drowning." And you know how to swim. You're going to go in after him? Let's hope you say yes. Okay, so you go in after him. So pardon me. The first thing that hits you is something that comes out of one of those, guaranteed you throw up. You throw up, you're miserable, yeah? But you're in the drink already, you threw up and you feel sick and you want to get out of there, but you're in there already, you might as well try to save this guy, yeah? So now you grab him, your hands are full of mud. Guaranteed you throw up another 3 times. Another 3 times. Now you really feel sick, you're ready to quit. But you can't quit, this guy is drowning, you don't want to drown. So you strengthen yourself once more and you grab him. And now you got to fight the current. What's going on in your head? Everybody knows. You know what's going on in your head? I wish I was dead. This is the worst day of my life. This guy should have dropped dead before you ever laid eyes on him. The whole Manhattan should sink into the sea. I'm going to sue the Circle Line. Why me? Worst day of my life. I'm miserable. Yeah. 20 years from now, we ask you, tell me, what was the greatest day of your life? You know what comes to mind? That day I saved this guy. I want you to focus on this. And I threw up 4 times. I mean, what are you so excited about? Did you ever throw up? I mean, until this happened, did you ever throw up? Somebody asks you, tell me about it. You say, who the hell wants to tell you about it? No, you tell me you threw up. What are you so excited about? I stuck it out. I'm a good man. And you know what? He tried to kill me. What the heck are you excited about? The guy tried to kill you. I stuck it out. I'm a good man. You want to meet him? You see, the first lesson is that in order to enjoy being good, do it after the fact. You know, after every day, think about what you did because you wanted to be good and enjoy being good. While you're doing it, it takes a real professional to enjoy being good. In each class, you have to really learn how to enjoy it. But there's something more you got to do is learn how to avoid counterfeit. In each class, there's counterfeit. In 5th class pleasure, the counterfeit is lust. The lust of women, you know, they think they're going to have great pleasure and they feel dirty afterwards. No good. But more simply, did you ever disappear into a bag of potato chips? You know, you take 3 potato chips, they're delicious. You take 3 more, they're delicious. Take another 3, they're delicious. Then all of a sudden you're at the bottom of the bag and you have a stomachache. It turns from being delicious into chewing, into a sensation, into a lust, rather than pleasure.
You go to that ice cream store in Manhattan, and you just can't stop yourself from picking out. And every single time, eating all that ice cream just gets you sick.
Okay, there's this drink. It's called Spring. It's a nectar drink. It's awesome. It's like just, it feels like, it's just great. It feels like a milkshake, but it's not as pure like fruits with a whole bunch of sugar in it. But I've had it once, I had 6 bottles or something. Your mouth feels like all sticky and gross, and it's just disgusting.
There was one time when I went to go to the pub with a friend, and we had quite a lot of drinks that we became really inebriated, extremely intoxicated with alcohol. And I went out, I couldn't see anything, I was walking into walls and I just puked up everywhere in the middle of the road, and I just felt like scum.
Southern fried chicken, I eat a lot of it. My husband makes it a lot, and I eat a lot of it, and then I get a bad stomach from it.
So, lust is counterfeit 5th class pleasure. What's counterfeit love? Counterfeit love. Were you ever infatuated? When you get married, you want to be infatuated or in love? Everybody knows, I want to be in love. When you're infatuated, couldn't you swear that you're in love? Counterfeit love. Or sentimentality, I love you, dearie, you're so sweet, my dearie. Yeah? Baloney, you don't love nothing. 3rd class pleasure, good. Everybody's killing himself to be good. You know what they're doing? Success, the counterfeit. They feel if I'm successful, I'm a good man. If I'm a failure, well, I can't live. I'm a bum. I'm no good. And everybody knows that you can be very successful and be a cutthroat, murderer, pig. Yeah? But you got to be successful, otherwise you're not a good man. Yeah? Success is counterfeit good. The crowd pleasing is counterfeit good. Second class pleasure, most people recognize it by the counterfeit. They don't know it for itself. By the counterfeit, they say, oh, now I understand. So, what will people kill millions, not thousands, but millions of their compatriots, of their own citizens, in order to get what? Everybody knows it's power. We had a Hitler, we had a Stalin, we had a Paul Knott, Idi Amin, and in history you had a Genghis Khan, you had a Nero, you had Caligula, you know your history, King Howard, he killed his own children, he killed his wife for power. Power makes sick. If they weren't running the country, all these people would have been locked up in an insane asylum, because it's the counterfeit. It really doesn't satisfy. It just makes them sick. Yeah. But what's the real thing? What did they think they were getting? Every one of them thought they were going to create something new, a new world. Yeah. And we know that if we could create a new world, if we could create, there would be more than anything. How can you compare any of the other things to this, to creation? So there's smaller creations.
When I was 17, I finished my first novel called The Figurehead, and the pleasure I attained from it was that I managed to achieve something. I completed a task which I was so proud of.
I once created this monster out of clay. It wasn't really a monster. I wanted it to be a rhinoceros. I mean, I thought it was a rhinoceros, and nobody else could recognize it as a rhinoceros, but I gave it to my mother for her birthday. And I just enjoyed making it and giving it to her.
And I love to cook.
I play the bass, I enjoy playing the bass, and just connect with people through music.
Probably the most creative pleasure I have, honestly, is seeing myself develop. How lots of times I reminisce about the past of when I was like 5 years old, 6 years old, growing up, and I reminisce a lot about my past, and I see how I've changed and how I've developed.
I'm a dancer, and I also am a singer, and I also draw a lot. So I like to express myself in all those different ways. Dancing, you can use different types of music to express all your different emotions, as well as singing, where you can really express your soul.
In Judaism, we say creation. The essence of creation is wisdom. If you know the 5 levels of pleasure, you've created yourself, you've created a human being. Instead of being tied to physical, material pleasure, you know that you can learn how to love, and you can be free with it all the time. And then you know why you want to be successful. You can try other ways of being good that are more meaningful and learn to enjoy it. If you have wisdom, the very least you can do is create a beautiful world for yourself and for your children, by teaching them how to have pleasure, by teaching them to concentrate on love, by teaching them how to enjoy being good, not to fight it, by teaching, I mean, you know that this is a world of splendor that you can share with your children and with the ones you love. The essence of life is the aesthetic experience, that moment of otherworldly pleasure, of awe, when you're standing in front of the stars and you see the distance and you say to yourself, what is man that there's anything to do with him in the face of all this power, all this greatness.
Whenever I go to the ocean and I see the water and it doesn't end, I realize it makes me feel the whole world is actually connected.
So all you hear is just the silence of the silence of winter, like woodland, and there was a river, and you just can hear the water trickling like through the ice. It was just so nice, and it was just like everything. It just felt alive.
When I was 16 years old, I had this transcendental experience where I really was being elevated, levitated. I was in the hands of the Almighty, creator of the universe. I was floating, and I felt like I was in His hands.
Every other day or every third day, a couple times a week, when from nowhere I'll get this feeling of being in the exact moment and nothing else matters. I don't remember the past, I don't remember the future, I'm not thinking about the past or the future, and I'm just completely sated with contentment at that very moment.
One time I was walking in the desert and it was at night, and I just looked up at the stars, and I was blown away by the awesomeness of it.
I remember sitting on a mountain once at sunrise and just seeing the eternal power of this huge star and the beauty of it. when you realize that you're just a small speck in this universe and that you're something part of so much greater.
Well, when you see a beautiful sunset and like a window opens up and you see otherworldly beauty, a piece of music, and it just sends your soul out of your body. It's transitory, it's a minute. That's because you don't know how to hold on to it. In Judaism we say it's love of God. A window opened up and for a moment you saw His power, you saw His beauty, you saw His harmony. And it's otherworldly pleasure.
Do I know what the source is of the 5 levels of pleasure? No, I can't say that I do. I honestly cannot say I do.
5 levels of pleasure? Never heard of them.
I really don't know. I've never given the matter too much thought.
If really you understood these 5 classes of pleasure and you saw that it works and you could even teach it. You can even teach it. Would you want your children to remember it? Would you tell them, would you teach it to your children? And tell them, say in the morning, say it at night. You remember, this is what you're after. This is what, don't get pedestrian, yeah? Would you tell them, put it on the wall so that whenever you walk into the house and whenever you walk out of the house, you see it, you remember what you're after? Yeah, of course you would. And if you could tie it on your hand and on your forehead, of course you would, yeah? That is the Shema. That's lies in the Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. First sentence is God is one. There is a God. He's one. The second sentence is love the Lord your God. That's first class. With all with all your desires. Now we come with 2 sets of desires. There's the body passions, yeah, that make an animal out of us. And there's the desire to be good. So the body passions, you see, that's second class, because now you're creating. You're using the body passion into the soul's purpose. You see, we're not really alive until we're outraged by injustice. Outraged. All the people in the world, they say, big deal, you know, it's terrible the way things are going, battered babies. And if you're outraged, you do something about it. We're not really alive until we lust for life. We lust. We got to understand life is beautiful. Everybody knows. You know that life is gorgeous. How? I got to find out. Come on, learn how. But that is second class pleasure, when you got your body passion into your soul's purpose. Third class pleasure is the desire to be good. Everybody wants to be good. Fourth class pleasure is with all your life. In Judaism we say we're all one. Every human being in this planet is one. Love every one of them. You can. They're all lovable. Except the guys who are trying to kill you. I mean, that's a separate story, yeah? Fifth class pleasure is b'chol meodecha, all your possessions. That's physical, material pleasure. These are the 5 classes of pleasure. The Almighty says, say it in the morning, say it at night, teach it to your children, discuss it while you're walking down the street, put it on your mezuzah, look at it when you're going out of the doors, indoors. Live with it, my friend. My children, this is what you were created for. Pleasure, but first class.
My greatest pleasure in life. Living.
Giving to people makes me happy. Kids make me happy.
Going to a movie, hanging out with friends.
My son, 7-year-old, I just love doing home with him.
If you have any questions or any comments, anything at all, we're interested. Please call.
Thank you.